Good evening, Mix-Along.
Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Hello, Miles Revolution. I am Mix-Along, and we are here back again talking about the auditions on America's Got Talent. I believe these are the auditions number 6.
That is correct. Everybody's favorite show on TV.
Everybody's favorite show. We're always watching, and if you're not watching, if you're watching us, that's probably even better.
Yeah.
If you can't watch, you can at least watch us.
That's right.
Whew, and we need the views more than NBC needs the views.
That's right. We need them a lot more.
Yeah. So like when people talk about how they wanted to stick it to the man and they're like, I'm not shopping at Albertsons or Fred Meyer's or Smith's or whatever it may be, or Walmart, and they're going to shop at the local grocery store that's still alive. That's like us. We're the local grocery store. So if you're into shopping local, why don't you listen local? Help out the little guys a little.
That's right.
Yeah.
The other guys, I mean, they get millions of views, and there's even millions of counterfeit people copying the videos and getting views.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really odd. You know, how come people aren't offering unique content instead of just rehashing the same stuff?
Sure. Yeah. I say I've got little cash but big ego.
That's right.
And I assume I'll probably stay like that forever, but that's okay because I think highly of myself.
That's right. So the cash volume doesn't necessarily matter.
No, I'm gonna love myself no matter what. I'd rather have a little bit of cash and a big ego than a lot of cash and no ego.
Right.
I'm not trying to be humble around here in my life. That is not why I do a podcast, to be humble. That's not why I'm here, folks. I want to remind everybody, too, that we have our Facebook group. If you ever want to join on, just type in AGT group. We got probably 2 freaks doing a show. That's the name of our show. If you type in 2 freaks doing a show, it should just pop up on groups. It's only a few of us so far. But we'd like to grow that group a little larger so that if you listen to us on the podcast here, you can continue the conversation there. Also, you can follow the Miles Revolution, which is the parent channel of 2 Freaks Doing a Show. You can follow them on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, which is mostly where people are watching us, on Twitter, and even on LinkedIn. So you can find the Miles Revolution anywhere, and you're going to be able to find cool videos about all kinds of things, about music, and a small town that the Miles Revolution lives in. He does a lot of videos on there. And, of course, videos like this. I'm even featured myself on a few of them where I'll do some music countdowns and stuff like that. So if you like our personalities at all, go ahead and follow us, like the video, subscribe, whatever that stuff that you do is, and you can see more of us. And you can find us here every week talking about AGT, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So, Miles, where are we at with today's episode?
Well, today's episode, I had some big time disappointments on the show this past week. Some big letdowns to me. So I'm not even this show, I would give maybe it had some really good acts. So for the really good acts, I'd probably give it a 8 or 9. But for the other ones that drug it down, I would say the show was probably about a 5 for my grading system.
Yeah, it was an interesting episode for me because I was interested in what you were going to say. Just let people know, Miles and I don't really discuss the episode too much beforehand, sometimes not at all, and we haven't discussed this one at all.
Right.
So I was interested to hear what you thought because I'd pretty much give it a solid kind of 5, 6 out of 10. There were only, I'm looking at my notes, 2, maybe 3. Actually, I think there's 2 for sure, a possible third that I would for sure say yes to. Most of these were. I'm not going to be mad if they go through. I can see the justification, but I don't see them going anywhere. There's really only 2 acts for sure that for sure go through for me. One that I can see why they're going, why they should, and all the rest of them are going to hover right there in the middle.
I don't know. Some of these are going down big time. I can't see them even being considered for future shows.
Yeah.
But that's me. I don't know. But a few of them were like, wow, now they're awesome. And I don't think, well, I didn't actually agree with the judges on one of their acts that they did not send through. So I don't know.
Well, let's go through these and see what we can figure out.
All right, who do we got first? We have Mariandrea Villegas, dancer. Not that she was a bad dancer. I thought it was an okay act, but as soon as I saw this act come on, I'm sorry, I just rolled my eyes and thought, really? Are you going to start with this? I mean, you want everybody to watch the rest of the show. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is another one of those that I say, it's kind of cool, but because it's first, I know what's going through. Yeah. We watched enough of the show that they try to start the show off with a bang. And what's ironic is that these ones they try to start the show off with a bang, they're usually not bangers. They're not that good. No. They're usually somewhere in the middle. This was somewhere in the middle. She had some cool moves. Yeah, I liked her look. Yeah. Is it anything I haven't seen before? I don't think so. But even if so, it was just kind of to me. If they want to put her through, fine. I'm not going to argue it too hard. And I'm not going to say she's terrible and that I hated it and she has no business being the next round. I just didn't care.
Well, she's a talented dancer. I'll give you that. And but when I saw, I mean, this is the first person I think I looked up, and it's like, oh my goodness, she's been on other TV shows before. She's got gobs of videos out there. She doesn't have her own YouTube channel, but so obvious people like her. I'm not really sure what she has in store for her. I saw that she's a dance model or models dancing lingerie, not lingerie, dance clothing for a company. So I think she already has a niche kind of carved out in the industry, but I'm just not so sure this is a $1 million act. I couldn't see this on the Vegas stage.
Yeah, it's nothing I'm paying to go see.
No, maybe she was dancing with somebody, or Dancing with the Stars with some other famous dancer. I could see that, but I'm not sure. Apparently she's good enough to have 46,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, that's more than I got. So
well, that's why she's on the show.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, they definitely called her to come on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think she auditioned.
All right, what do we got next?
We got next this one. I was looking at all these social media numbers, and these are all just the 82nd Airborne Division pages. So all the ones with the asterisks. So the only one that actually has their own social media page is Facebook. They're kind of lumped in with the Army Airborne Division, 82nd Airborne Division. So I'm not sure how much the Army's behind them.
Yeah,
I mean, that they're soldiers who are all happen to be singing. So I'm not sure the Army's promoting this particular group.
that's what I was wondering exactly what they are, because the military themselves has the band and they have music groups and they have boxers and they have a lot of things where you do represent the military, right?
Right.
and you represent your division. I was unclear if that was one of the cases, or did they just all put on their uniform and get up here to sing?
Yep.
I don't know, because it was unclear to me entirely. Are they someone that performs at the USO for soldiers or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Families? I don't know.
I mean, they're pretty good as, for a choir, doing what they're doing. I'm almost thinking that these were a bunch of guys who, hey, we're on the same barrack. Does anybody here sing? Yeah, I sing. Well, let's get together and form a group and call it the 82nd Airborne Division Chorus.
Yeah, and I feel like this was just people that were decent singers. If they didn't have their uniform on, we wouldn't notice them too much. And this will probably get me hate with people, but I don't care. I don't love things just because it's military.
Right.
I love the U.S. Great. But just because you walk out in a uniform, I'm not giving you a standing ovation and putting you through. And they have a great gimmick. Most people will, though. Most people, when they see the soldiers, are going to stand up and give them the standing ovation, and there's going to be a big story and a big thing with that. And you're going to have a leg up. Yeah, pay for the lunch. You get 10% off at the movie theater. Good for you. And, I'm not ungrateful or anything, but yeah, I'm just not going to see you because you got a uniform on.
Yeah.
But with that said, I can see these guys having a niche audience. There are a lot of people who really love people in uniform performing. And I think if the military themselves has a niche, if the military themselves wants to have these guys tour and go sing for troops in Afghanistan or wherever they may be, or travel around different military bases around the world in Germany and South Korea, I could see that. So I think there's something you can do with them. I just don't particularly think they're more talented than anybody else. But because they are military, I think there's a niche audience for it.
Yeah. And one thing about all the choirs that come on here, most of those are a constantly changing over of singers. And so it's pretty much just the name or the entity that gets the credit, just like the Atlanta Drum Academy. I mean, I know they always have kids coming and going. The Tabernacle Choir, BYU Vocal Point, Detroit Choir, all these, it's just the name of the choir that's there. So it's not really the people, that they're more just a fixture in the entity, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's true, because I could definitely see something like this, and perhaps it is something like this. I don't know. Perhaps there's been an 82nd Airborne Division choir for a while, and maybe as people get transferred or something, they kind of come in and out.
Like the band, or like the U.S. military band or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe it is something like that. And if it is, I say there's a built-in audience for that.
Right.
Where you're going to be able to perform for people that are in the military, and then just have regular shows.
And your moms and dads and family.
Yeah.
So they'll always have an audience.
Yeah, these guys could perform at high school graduations.
Right.
I mean, and everybody's going to give them a standing ovation. They sing the national anthem, and there you go. Right. I mean, there's definitely something you can do with them.
Yeah, I just don't think that AGT and the winning $1 million. Who gets the money? The U.S. Army.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, really, I don't see anybody else benefiting. All right, now this was one of my favorite acts of the night. This magic guy. I really liked what he did with the cards. I thought that was really awesome to watch. So, this was one of my 3 top.
Interesting, because I love the magicians, and I like this, but I wouldn't have put it through.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't have put it through. I thought it was really cool.
Man. Don't agree.
This to me was, as I say with a lot of these acts, this was This had State Fair written all over it. I loved it. I mean, I thought it was really cool. It's not a stage act for me that I'm going to go pay. But again, if I'm at the State Fair and I'm eating a bear claw or whatever you eat and drinking some Coke, and I see this guy on the free stage after I paid $10 to get into the fair, which why you have to pay an entry fee to the fairs are beyond me. It's a ripoff. You already spent while you're in there. But if this guy was there, I'd pay my $10 to get in and walk around and go to his stage. This is exactly the kind of things I've seen at the fairs when I've gone. And I like it. It's just not, to me, a Vegas act that I'm going to pay upwards of $50, $70 to see.
I would pay for it if he was part of some other act. I don't know that he could carry a show on his own. I think he would have to be, part of a group.
And in his defense, I feel like because of the editing, I feel like it was edited to make us not think he should go through, because we didn't see his act from beginning to end. There's a lot of cuts in that.
Yep.
And it made me wonder if he could do anything else, which I'm sure that he could.
Well,
and so I don't think I can judge him entirely fair, but from what he did and what they showed on the show with the editing, it seemed State Fair to me.
Okay. Well, when I contacted this guy, he said he would be interested in coming on our show, but he's in Korea right now.
Everybody's out of like we say, everybody we talk to is like out of the country or on a boat.
Yeah. Well, he said he's busy or really busy in Korea. Seoul, Korea is where he is. So obviously the guy gets around. I don't know if it's another Korea's Got Talent or what, but he obviously has shows. So, and I don't remember what his nationality is. Is he Russian or something? I don't remember what that name is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely Eastern European, the name.
Yep. Yeah.
Do we know when? It's a little side note, but do we know yet when the auditions are done? Then when they're going to pick?
I personally don't know.
They haven't mentioned it yet. I don't think.
No.
And
well, they usually do. I'm expecting 120 acts.
How many?
120. I'm thinking.
Okay. Because on the show, I'm trying to think, because I think they have 12 on an episode that go through.
Yeah, something like that.
Isn't it? Because I think they end up with the final 10. I think there's 5 shows on the second round. So that would be 60. And I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, because if we've had 6 shows so far, and if we think there's 120 people, if they had 20 acts on each show, 6 times 2, that'd be 120, right?
Well, it could be that we haven't even seen all the acts that they initially put through.
Oh, Anthony just said in the chat, August 8th is the last audition episode. Live show starts August 22nd, so there's a week in between. Oh. Okay, thanks, Anthony. Yeah, that makes sense. So we've probably got 2 more audition shows, maybe 3.
All right.
Yeah, we should look at the schedule. I'm sure the schedule's on
there.
Yeah. All right. Well, who do we got next?
Moss Brass. Now, this is something curious. I think are they Japanese? Man or China?
I can't remember I can't remember where they said they were from. No, actually, I think they said they were from South Korea.
Okay. Well, they've got almost 1 million followers on TikTok at the time of the airing of the show. So that's why they got on the show. But my thinking when I saw this act and my wife agreed is, are they even playing? Are they just dancing to a track?
They look like they were playing.
Well, yeah, it kind of looked like that. But I think they were playing. But when I saw this, is like, it wasn't working for me. This was one of the weaker acts to me.
Well, I guess for me, I thought it was impressive, but I don't like horns. So, so right there, you're at a disadvantage for me.
Right.
What was it, last season or maybe the season before? They had that saxophone kid.
Yeah.
The guy that played the saxophone. I remember Terry gave him the golden buzzer, and I never really liked that guy, and everybody loved him. It's one of those things I don't think I can judge fairly because I just don't enjoy horns and brass that much. I mean, liking horns in Chicago is probably the closest I get, but I don't enjoy just horn music and brass bands. These girls had a cool look. I kind of like what they were doing on stage. I just didn't care. And so it's like a lot of these acts, I can't debate they shouldn't have gone through because I think they were talented. And again, I think they have an audience and I can see people loving them that are into this. But for me, I just have close to zero interest.
Well, I'll give into that. Me being a musician, I personally don't like listening to instrumental music. And I know there's people who dig it, but it's not the thing that I go to listen to. I've got to have someone singing, and if someone's singing, I want to hear someone accompany them. So I don't like to hear an a cappella singer either. That's not appealing to me.
Yeah, which I always say is so interesting coming from you because you're the magician. Well, not magician. You're the musician here. I'm thinking about AGT too much with all these magicians, but you're the musician, and I'm not. I just am a big fan of music, and most musicians I know love music without singing. You're one of the few that does not enjoy too much of just the art of the music itself.
I'm pretty warped. So we actually went to a street concert on Friday, and it was a trio. It was an acoustic trio, and after we saw what was there, it's like, nah, let's go to another town where they've got a band playing. So it just doesn't work for me. And I guess maybe my thinking is also when it comes to bands, I think dance. If I can't dance to it, then it doesn't have a whole lot of value to me. You know, and maybe that's the reasoning. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you just like energy.
Yes, correct.
Like something that brings the energy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But you're also an 80s man, and that's when the electronic dance music was big.
There you go.
Yeah, when you back in those days.
Well, this group obviously has a following. Even though TikTok, that means it's all short videos. So I'm not sure what people are watching. Maybe they're just their moves. I don't even know if they're listening to the music. If they're on TikTok.
Well, I can see liking them on TikTok. I would probably like them on TikTok. If you show me a video clip of them for 30 to 60 seconds and they go, Kirk, what do you think about these guys? I'm going to say, pretty good.
Looks good.
Kind of cool. And then that's it. But if you show them to me for 5 minutes and you say, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I kind of had enough. I preferred the 30-second clip.
Yeah. All right, this guy was kind of hard to find. Now, they called him 40 pounds on AGT, but that's not what he's known as. He's known as 40 Ourty. That's what he is on Instagram and TikTok. And he's on YouTube. He doesn't seem to have his own channel, at least that I could find, but he's plastered all over YouTube for the past, 5-7 years. So he's been doing this hat trick thing for quite a while. And once again, I think this is another one of those short videos that I think people would like, or that people, get stuck on for their 30 seconds, 60 seconds and watch the guy kick his hat and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not something I would ever go pay to see. I mean, I'd see this guy out on the street corner, with a tip jar or an empty hat, doing his thing.
Yeah, it's Yeah, to me, this is like street performance.
Yeah.
And I like street performers. I like in the city when people are doing stuff on the side of the road and it's cool stuff. I might throw $1 in the hat or something, but that's what this is. It's just street performance. And again, if I see the 30-second to 60-second clip online, I'll probably click like and like that's cool. But again, for a show, no, I don't really have any interest there.
Yeah, well, that's probably how he got his followers, or why he still has all those followers on Instagram. But they put him through, and I'm not sure what he would do on a follow-up act. I mean, he's already kicked the hat around, or kicked the can, whatever he does.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else he's gonna kick. A sombrero?
I think so. Really. As Teresa said, I'm looking over in the chat. It's just not a Vegas act. I agree with her. It's just not. Again, as I say, sure, you're a nice guy, cool, hang out with you and everything, but it's just like, what? How much money am I spending to watch this? When I go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not spending much on that.
Not spending anything on this.
No. All right, the teenage girls, 14, 15, and 16 or something like that. Or no, 2 twins and the sister. That's what it is. And you see they've got 749,000 followers on Instagram. So obviously people are digging their dancing routine, doing it all over the place. And as young girls, I suppose I could see lots of young guys watching the show. They're on Instagram they might even get 2 minutes out of their videos.
Yeah.
And they definitely have a following. I'm not sure where they can take this. The few videos that I saw, it didn't really seem like any routines. It just seemed like just wiggling and dancing. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just whatever to me.
Yeah, they've been on the Ellen DeGeneres show 2 times, from what I could gather.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that conversation.
So,
I mean, they kind of are what they are.
Yeah,
it's fine. Whatever.
Dance away, dance night away.
Yeah, just dance, and I don't care. I don't want to see you move through.
Yeah. The next group of dancers, the break dancers, I couldn't find much of a social media presence. Now, maybe I'm just looking at the wrong names, because I didn't realize how many groups are called the Zoo Crew. So, oh my goodness, there's so many of them. So they just got lost in the pot. So they don't really have a brand name that stands out. So I'm not sure how they're going to market themselves under that name.
These guys had a cool look. They didn't show much of them, but
no, that was one thing that got me in this show. They were like, 3 acts in a row. They showed 15 seconds. Like, what's that all about?
Yeah, it was just like these guys, they show them really quick and they got a cool look and they got some kids. That's kind of their gimmick, but just a little of what they show, I'm just like, okay, yeah, more of this. I can see why they only gave you a few seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it didn't leave me wanting more. It didn't make me smile when I saw it or laugh or I wasn't wowed. It was just like, okay, there's some cool looking people dancing.
I don't think there's enough time to be wowed, at least what they showed on TV. So I'm not really sure how good they are or aren't from what we saw.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, perhaps we just don't have enough. Information to judge them.
Yeah. So, touche. They were put through, even as little as we saw them. So, oh my goodness. This one, he is nothing like Shadow Ace. Shadow Ace is worth watching. This one, It's like, man, they have to have that camera right up on them, and what could the audience see?
Yeah, I'm sure, but you could see him kind of on the big screen, but you couldn't. The camera looked right in front of the audience, and this guy. I'm looking over at my note here. What did I put about him? I brought this guy back 3 question marks.
Yeah,
Because
Britain's Got Talent. Why?
He was already on Britain's Got Talent, and they're like, let's bring this guy back. Why? Like, do they think that obviously they know he's not going to go through? So, okay, we've got that. But do they think this was just really funny? Because it wasn't that funny. I mean, it made me laugh a little bit, but it was just long and I don't know. It's a weird talent. It is a talent in some way, but it just wasn't that exciting. The novelty wore off after 30 seconds.
Yeah. This is definitely a TikTok act.
Yeah.
That is the medium for it, nowhere else.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but this is definitely a TikTok act. If somebody I know made this video and they have their fingers and it looks like a woman's legs and they put some music behind it, I'd definitely laugh and I'd push love on the video.
So they're a star on TikTok, and so I'm not going to knock them for that. But as far as having them on the show and bringing them back from a different Got Talent, that was a waste. This was just a big letdown to me.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
As far as the show goes, as far as TikTok goes, it's an awesome act.
Yeah.
So I don't want this Oswaldo Colina to think that I'm ragging on him or anything. He's just TikTok is his venue. So, or Instagram. So, Trent Toney, the guy from Oregon. And after when I looked up his social media, it's like, how on earth did this guy get on the show? Because I kind of thought of myself, putting myself in his shoes. And it's because he had 2 viral videos, 3 years ago, 7 years ago, or something like that. That's how he got on there.
This guy is interesting because, first off, I was pulling for him because both of us no longer live in Oregon,
right?
But we're both from Oregon, and
right.
We're from Portland. We're from Portland, Oregon, and where this guy's from is Hillsboro, Oregon. So if you're not familiar with Portland, Hillsboro is just a suburb of the city. Yeah. So we're from all the same neighborhood there. And so I'm pulling for him because there's kind of a hometown thing.
But he's got some potential. I mean, he didn't sound bad. It wasn't a bad song.
I don't know. For me, I thought he sounded the epitome of average. He wasn't bad, but he was average. He was an average singer. And I thought the song was entirely average.
Yeah.
It was all like just pretty. It was just pretty average to me all around for it. And the only thing that I did like, I liked how they got the girl on camera.
Yep.
That was really good. I liked his story, and I was really hoping that they would talk to her and say, "Hey, are you going to marry this guy again?"
That would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been so good. And I'm waiting for it. And it's like this huge lost opportunity because then they said they didn't get back together. And if she would have been like crying on camera, it's like, I just can't do it. I just can't be with this guy. And all the crowd would be like, boo. And we'd have like a whole Jerry Springer, Maury Povich kind of situation, like trashy 90s TV. I live for that stuff. I would have loved it. And I really wanted it. I really wanted to talk to her, and they didn't. And I feel like the show just entirely dropped the ball.
Yeah. Something I thought was interesting because they did bring up his firefighter's clothing. Half of his videos that he has out there, he's like wearing his firefighter stuff. Well, I just thought it was kind of odd when they asked him how come he's not wearing it on stage. Well, it wouldn't be appropriate or whatever he said. And come out to find later is, most of his videos he's in his uniform.
Well, maybe that's how you found out. Maybe they're like, stop doing that. And if you go on AGT, do not wear your uniform.
Right.
Maybe that was a nice way of him saying, yeah, they talked to me about
They
that.
told me not to do that anymore.
Now,
firefighters, I assume that he's a full-time firefighter. And most of those, they work 24 hours a day there at the firehouse.
Yeah.
And so I could see him, a bunch of those videos were probably made while he's just sitting around with his buddies and, hey, let's go make a YouTube video or a TikTok video real quick. So,
well, and I thought that also, I don't think this guy should have went through it all, but I do want to have him on the show. That was like, I need this guy on the show because I need to ask him about this whole situation because I'm really confused. He loved this girl and he was married her, and then they got divorced because they were actually legally married, if I remember.
Yep.
But he still loves her. But I was unsure if this was they've been divorced 3 months or 6 years. I don't know. Then they called they video called the girl. She must like him enough to answer the call. So they answered the call, and then she just seemed shocked. So I'd really like to get on and have his story. So Trent, if you're watching, we would love to bring you on, or I would love to bring you on and ask you more about your love life as a firefighter and as a man and as a singer. But more than that, and don't take offense to this, Trent, I would really like your ex-wife to come on. Because after I thought about that, I'm like, no, we need this girl to come on, and we need to ask her what it's like for Heidi Klum to call you, and you're on video chat, and you're like, oh my gosh, and she shows you the crowd, and your ex-husband's trying to get you back on national TV, and at the very end, they flash up a thing, and they're like, by the way, she didn't get back with him. I'd like to talk about her love.
That would be great.
And these things. Yeah. So if you're watching Trent or Trent's ex-wife, or if anybody of you know these people, let us know, because I really want to talk to one of them or both. We could get you both on.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Come on, that would be awesome, and we can all talk and we can hash this whole thing out. Maybe you get back together, maybe you don't, but it's worth talking about, and this is the place to talk about it.
That's right. Yeah. The new Jerry Springer. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll be nice to you, but that's what I was thinking the most. We have got to get these people on the show.
That's right. Their lives will be better if they show up.
Yeah. All right, where are we going next?
We are going to the Cowbells. This was the worst act of the night. It just bothered me. And this one was a setup. I know the producers put this together.
So you agreed with Puppet Simon or disagreed?
What part?
Well, any part, because he said he hated it.
It was terrible. I mean, I thought some of the banter back and forth, like with Sofia, was great. And when she made her comment, or somebody, well, I can't believe you're having an argument or a conversation with a puppet.
So here's what I think is I need more cowbells. I loved it. If there's one act in this, no. And I love how they fooled us at the beginning, because I love puppet shows. I was telling this to my wife. I was like, the puppet show has gone out of style. The puppet show needs to come back. We all used to like puppet shows. When I was young, I watched Mr. Rogers, and I'd watch him do that little cat. Meow. I need some more money. Meow. I'm hungry. Meow. I love it. The puppets are awesome. And everybody loves Sound of Music when they do Lonely Goat Herder and the puppets. I loved it. This was bringing back the puppets. They fooled everybody at the beginning that it was just kind of lame with the lady singing. Puppet Simon comes out. Brilliant, funny, sounds like him. He can sing. They do the perfect song. Somebody to Love. Sounds great. And I'm just into the puppets. I love the Muppets and all of these kind of things. So I don't know. Maybe it was nostalgia is that we don't have enough puppets in the media, and we don't have enough puppet representation now in the United States. But I'm all for the puppets. I love the.
Okay that this was on the show.
Yeah, to me this could be a top 10 act.
Really,
I loved it. This was the only thing on the show. Well, one other than this that I go, this is for sure got to go through. I loved puppet people. Anthony says in the chat, Gabe Brown of Brown Brothers from last season was voice of Puppet Simon. Oh, okay. Are those the ones that I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head?
They change their face or head?
Yeah, is that when they change their faces, Anthony? If you're listening, I think those are the ones that did that. But yeah, I love these people. I'm surprised you didn't like it. I was thinking, oh, were there people that didn't like this? Sophia's given an X. I'm like, what's wrong with you? An X for this? This was talented. Singing with puppets. I mean, I love everything with puppets. I like Muppet stuff. I love Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies from the 80s. You know, all these 80s movies with puppets in it are great.
Yeah,
great stuff. We're bringing them back.
We're definitely on different ends of the spectrum. My only thought was while I was watching that, I thought, did they set up a deal with the Jim Henson Company for these puppets? But I don't know. Whatever. Like them, that's fine. I just did not like it as part of AGT.
Yeah.
So that was
I mean, I'm surprised. I thought probably everybody would. I thought everybody would like it.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
The singer was with his brother on the piano, and they did voice impersonations.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember who they were. Yeah. I remember who they were now.
Oh, those younger guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I remember who they are. Oh, and Danger Zone in the chat says, "Great." I'm assuming that he's referring to cowbells being great. So maybe it's just Miles that didn't like him. Maybe Miles is just I don't know what the word for it is, but maybe puppet hater. Maybe discriminatory against anything that has a hand up the backside. I'm a big fan of. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, maybe yeah, maybe that's it. But I loved them.
Well, all right. Well, looks like Mixlum got disconnected. He'll be right back. I'm not sure what happened there, but thanks to technology, we get to experience things where people's devices get disconnected for unknown reasons. And maybe it's a good thing because I can, defend myself and saying, not all puppet shows are created equal. It's a little less than equal to me.
I think I'm back. I was so excited. I'm waving my hands and I knocked my camera out of my computer because I was just like, I need more cowbells, and yeah, it just went crazy from there.
All right. Well, then fine. Now, did they actually put them through then?
Yeah. They got 3 yeses. Sofia gave them the X.
Sofia's the one. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But yeah, they went through.
All right. Well, touche. Okay. Now, can you agree with me on this one, that this one was a top-notch act?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one wasn't my other for sure.
I really liked it.
So, but this is, this probably should have gone through, but you could talk me out of it. But really good. I like it. But again, this is the stuff I like on AGT. Yeah.
That was totally appropriate for them to be on the show. It looks like that they've been in Las Vegas, and if I read things correctly, they are part of the defunct Ringling Brothers circus.
Yeah.
Circuit. So they were probably someone who was lost their job when the circus closed up. But I really liked it. I couldn't really find a social media presence for them, and this is probably an act that doesn't work on social media anyway. So I don't have any problem with them not being famous there. This is a show you definitely have to go to see in person.
Yeah, I have no problem with these guys going through. I really love it. I say the only thing that stops me from saying for sure that I could go through is we've seen other acts kind of like this, but yeah, I'm for it. I mean, if you're gonna ask me, should it go through? I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, well,
so I've got 2 for sure's. I've got 2 for sure's. 2 I'm on the edge. This is one of the ones I'm on the edge.
All right,
I'm putting it through. I'm going.
Okay. Well, this next one, I can't believe that they didn't put this one through because I really like this act with these 2 girls singing.
Interesting.
But then again, they were singing. That's my thing. And it wasn't the super, it wasn't a song that was super full of energy, but I liked listening to it. And it was someone that, it's like, yeah, I like the way that sounds, the way they sound. And so, I would go listen to them. I'd go to concerts that they were in. And it looks like they have quite a following, pretty good for 2 girls. And I actually saw their tour schedule. And I think they're even in Oregon sometime this year on their tour schedule. So they get around.
Yeah, I thought right when they came out, I'm surprised they didn't go through.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. Because right when they came out, I said, these girls got the look. They look like somebody that you would push.
Yeah.
Cool backing band behind them and everything. But to me, they were really blah. I didn't love the song. Granted, I'm not a huge country fan, but I didn't love the song. I didn't love their voices. What I thought when I heard them was these, and it's not. This isn't meant to be a knock on them. It may sound like it, but it's not, because there's some great tribute bands out there. But I thought they'd be a great Shania Twain tribute band or cover band, singing Shania Twain songs. They sounded a lot like Shania Twain, just not as good. And I could see them singing those kind of songs at fairs and everything everywhere. But yeah, I think they have a great look and everything, but I just don't. I mean, judging upon the song that they sang, it's just not near enough for me.
They put other people through there who didn't have the greatest song, and Anthony agrees. He said he would have said yes and put him through. So I know I'm not alone on this. Teresa says not a Vegas act. Well, no, not a Vegas act, but I could see them as a concert, on tour act.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like not a yeah. I see. I could be convinced that you could put them through. I wouldn't put them through. I just don't think they were good enough. But I say they have a good enough look that I think you can market them.
Yeah.
So I think you can do something with them. Talent alone, I don't think they're good enough. I mean, I forgot their song as soon as they were done.
Well, the what was his name? Drake Milligan. His Facebook social media, or his followers on social media were pretty much equal to theirs at the time that he was on the show.
Well, that guy was really good.
Yeah.
And I say I'm not even a country guy, really, but yeah,
well, that
guy was really good.
That guy would have been going places without AGT.
Yeah.
The only thing AGT did was make it go faster. But that guy was a star out of the box.
Now, I could see these girls playing Vegas if it wasn't something I'm paying to see. Because a lot of times casinos, if you've been to Vegas, casinos have a lot of stuff. A lot of times they'll have like stages inside the casinos, and there's bands playing while you're gambling or at these bars and these things. I could see them doing something like that. Yeah, that's true. By a casino and singing some of their own songs, singing some covers. People get to know them. I'm not paying like 50, 70 bucks to see them. But if I'm already in the casino, I get a couple drinks, I'm playing the slots, and then I go to dance on the dance floor, and they're just there every day, or they're there every Friday and Saturday night, I can see that.
Well, I'd also have to see some of their other songs or acts. Yeah. So just hearing one song probably isn't the best way to make a good judgment call on it. I mean, everybody chooses a song, and it could be that they chose a different song and the producer said, no, we want you to sing this song.
Yeah. So knowing how the producers work from the people that we've talked to.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is extremely likely that they're picking the song they want you to do.
Right. All right. Andrew Stanton. Okay. This was, to me, also a classic act for the night. I love this act with the swords or but I found it interesting. He's also been on Britain's Got Talent too. This year, as a matter of fact, like 2 months ago.
Well, I love danger acts. So danger acts are almost always going to go through for me. Magicians and danger acts are my thing on AGT. So this guy was awesome. I loved him. I love the sword swallowing, really cool. But the spinning around on the spear, I'm all for it. I've never seen a danger act in person, actually. And I've always wanted to see one because I love danger acts. And I would just love to see somebody in person do something like light themselves on fire or, spin around on a spear. Or my favorite thing David Blaine does, the magician, is when he takes takes something sharp like a needle and sticks it all through his arm and it comes out the other way. I'm fascinated by that stuff. So anybody that can do stuff like that, I'm all for. So this guy, I'm putting him through 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I would have put him through.
Spin around on a spear like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy town.
He's pretty unique with some of the things he did, I thought. So yeah, that's a definite put through for me. So this show, once again, this guy made the show for me.
Yeah, and this guy had a good look for it too.
Yeah.
When you do a danger act, I want you to look kind of crazy because it plays into it for me. And this guy looks kind of crazy, and I like that. He looks like this dude looks like he sits around 5 days a week and drinks Bud Light, and then when he's done, saying, "I'm going to see if I can spin around on this spear."
Right.
And he goes, I can. And I feel like this is what this guy does. And I love that. I love that kind of mystique on a danger act because it just adds to this. It just adds to like the craziness of it all.
Yeah. Well, it looks like people in our chat liked him too. So
yeah, at least we like him.
All right, the last act of the night, you knew this was going to be the golden buzzer. As soon as she said she was autistic and she's a singer and she's blind, and I don't want to rag on her. I mean, so she seems like a really nice person. The thought that went through my mind, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Cody Lee is probably expiring. You know who he is?
I don't think so.
He's the blind autistic guy that played the piano.
Oh, yeah.
So his time is probably expiring with their Las Vegas contract, so they need a replacement for him. And that was went through my mind. So
yeah, because Cody was on the show probably like 3 years ago or something, probably now. Like yeah. So this is their thing. She's got a good story. She's got an automatic for me. Puppet show. Cowbell, number 1, and then the danger act. That was the last guy that spun around on the spear. They were my 2 for sure. We're going through this lady. I could be talked into. I would probably have put her through, but I could be talked into it either way. Great story. Love the thing with their parents and being adopted and fighting through everything. And there is something really cool about these kind of autistic savants who can do things. I mean, she can sing better than she can speak. And That's pretty cool.
I would like to know.
There's a market for her, and
Yes.
but more than the way she sounds, I think there's a definite market. I think if you put her somewhere like Vegas, I think people would pay. Maybe not just if she's by herself, but if she's performing with others, she's the opening act or second act to Donny Osmond or something. I think she's going to get a standing ovation.
Yeah, I agree. Curious thing is, the first time that I auditioned for AGT, I don't know if she's auditioned before, but man, I am pretty sure she was at the same audition I was at in Detroit.
Huh? Did they say Did they say where she's from?
I didn't look that up, but I bet you Lavender. Let's see here, Lavender.
If she's from anywhere around the area, then maybe she was.
This is Massachusetts. Oh, she lives in Massachusetts right now.
Yeah, maybe you did see her. She could have. She reminded me of, there's this guy that's autistic and he's a savant. Somebody people should really check out. I ran into him a couple years ago, just online, not personally. But his name is Derek Paravinci or something like that. Derek Paravinci, and he's a piano player, but he's also blind and he's autistic. Look this dude up, man. This guy's crazy. He plays anything by ear. It's hard for him to kind of hold too much of a conversation, but when he sits down at the piano, he plays everything.
Yeah,
so it's really cool. She kind of reminds me of that. I mean, she's a decent singer. She's not the best singer in the world, but like I say, it's impressive. What's impressive is that you perform better than you speak. All of a sudden, when she starts singing, she becomes very clear.
Yeah.
And everything. So it's impressive. I think there's an audience for it. Is she better than everybody else on the show singing? No. Does she have more of an audience? I think so.
Yeah. So she's I can see her going through, and I can see motivations as to why the judges would put her through. And I would probably be inclined to do the same thing if I was sitting in one of those 4 seats too. Most singers, I don't know if there is a such thing as a perfect singer. There's lots of voices that I really like to hear, but I mean, take Pink, for example. I love her voice. She's just got the right amount of rasp in her voice. And, but, she's not really a perfect singer either. Yeah. But there's just people that I just like to listen to.
Yeah.
So quirks and all.
Yeah.
And so I can listen to this girl again. So.
Yeah, I'm not mad that she went through. Didn't deserve the buzzer, but the buzzer fit the narrative of the story. So
yes, it did. And you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Just as she started introducing herself. So
yeah, then they bring up the other parent at the end, and it's the whole family affair. And Heidi goes up there and hugs them, and this is how we end the show. And AGT loves to end the show like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just what they do. All right, well,
a wrap for the night. That's what we got. So I don't know, 4 acts or so. 4 acts, maybe 5 are ones that I liked, and the other 7, I think it was it 12 acts for this time? I didn't.
Yeah, so I put through 2 for sure, and then 2 pretty for sure, but I could do without if I had to.
Right.
But yeah, the big takeaway from this show is that you hated the puppets. And I think we'll just remember.
I'm a puppet hater, I guess.
And we're gonna have to see where the puppets go moving forward, because really, I'm not going to be surprised if puppets end up in championship round.
Okay. Curious thing is they have no social media presence that I could find. I mean, there's a whole bunch of cowbells out there. So
that's probably what they got against them.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. So anybody that's watching, if you hadn't heard before, go ahead and add us on Facebook group. If you want to keep on talking about what we've been talking about or anything AGT related, just go ahead and search Two Freaks Doing a Show, AGT, on Facebook, and you can add the Facebook group where we are. You can keep up with this show. You can talk about AGT in general. And you can also follow the Miles Revolution and subscribe to him on whatever platforms you're on, whether that be Facebook or Twitch or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or wherever you're at. Go ahead and add the Miles Revolution. That's the parent channel of Two Freaks Doing a Show, which we are doing here. It looks like my sunlight is coming through right at the end.
Oh, wow. That was good timing.
Woo, that is good timing. And so I think that's all we got for now.
That is all we got.
All right. Well, then I'm Mixlam, and he's the Miles Revolution. We are Two Freaks Doing a Show, and we will see you next week at the same time, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Pacific.
See you then. Bye.